Greetings, everyone. I am Uday Sharma from the Triple Department of Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today, I'm going to discuss about the topic economics in daily life. Economics is the study of scarcity and its implications for the use of resources, production of goods and services, growth of production and welfare over time, and a great variety of other complex issues of vital concern to society. Economics affects our daily lives in both obvious and subtle ways. From an individual perspective, economics frames many choices we have to make about work, leisure, consumption, and how much to save. Our lives are also influenced by macroeconomic trends such as inflation, interest rates, and economic growth. It's hard to know what to say, but to people excited about economics, it's good to try and think how economics can be applied in every life. Some of this is just common sense, but economics can help put a theory behind our everyday actions. Let us see why economics is important. The opportunity cost we face is deciding what to buy, how to use time. Let us say if we have 3 hours of time left, I can either study, have spent leisure time, or work. I have three different choices of time, three different choices to make, which gives me this is called as opportunity cost, by the way, and how to use time, how to maximize our economic utility and avoid behavioral bias, like how to maximize the amount of, suppose we have some amount of good, how to maximize the output from it. See, as we can see here, the importance of economics. We get to know about opportunity costs, how inflation affects us, should we save, the effect of externalities, how to maximize utilities. As we have discussed earlier, opportunity cost is utilizing the opportunity properly. As we consider an example, time, as we can divide it into, as said earlier, leisure, study, work, miscellaneous. Choosing one of these affects others. I can study now, and which gives us me later work, but working now, which gives me money, or spending a leisure time also affects. How inflation affects us is national level inflation, how it will affect us, how it will affect the prices, how will it affect the day-to-day economics we use, like how to think by market, vegetables in the market. Should we say, like, should we save a part of our income? Should we save part of our earnings? It is also an important part of economics. How to maximize the utility of a product. If you have like 1 kg of something rice, how to maximize the usage of it, like without wasting any, like using 800 grams or throwing away 200 or a spoiled thing. How to maximize the output with the selective or less input. It can also be is part of daily economics. Let us discuss briefly about opportunity cost. We are constantly faced with choices. It may be a matter of limited time. For example, at the weekend, we could spend 8 hours working at a cafe, the minimum wage of 700 rupees, or we could spend 8 hours studying for an exam. Alternately, we can choose 8 hours of leisure. Each choice has an opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of earning 700 is what we don't have time to study, or we don't have time to leisure. This could lead to a poorer exam results, which could lead to lower future earning potential. Choosing to maximize our income in the short term, like earning 700 rupees a day, and reduce our lifetime earnings, could be a poor decision. The problem is that when making decisions about whether to study, work, or pursue leisure, we may forget or ignore long-term effects. Deciding to spend all our free time earnings, like 62 pounds or $700, 700 rupees, is something we may regret in life. in the later part. As you can see, the graph representing the opportunity cost. Considering the opportunity cost can help us make better decisions. If we act on instinct, we may choose the most pleasurable or easy course of action. The best decision in the short term may not be the long. As you can see here, the hours of study and the hours of research. If we increase the hours of study and decrease the hours of leisure, we may not get leisure, we may get less rested, and we may look tired. If we increase the hours of leisure and we don't give the time to study, it results in poorer results and poorer income in the future. Maintaining a perfect amount of leisure to perfect amount of education or hours of study it is also a part of economics and how we manage our time. If you can study extra 2 hours, the opportunity cost is 2 hours of leisure that you cannot have. Like if we study 2 hours from the leisure time, this 2 hours is now used to study. The opportunity cost here is this 2 hours of time, which cannot be get back. Macroeconomy in daily life. When making decisions, we don't tend to first look at leading economic indicators, but perceptions about the economic outlook can influence certain decisions. For example, those aware of the current economic situation may be aware that the depth of the recession, which makes a period of low interest rates more likely. This suggests if you get a mortgage or mortgage payments would be cheaper, but saving would give a poor return. Life, like if we have a idea over the latest economics, we can buy certain things, we can invest in a certain areas which gives us a higher returns than blindly investing in the other parts. We don't get returns more likely compared to the analyzing of the economic situations. However, the bad state of the economy and the high unemployment rate is a factor that may encourage students to stay unsteady. Since youth employment is currently very high, youth unemployment is currently very high, it makes more sense to spend 3 years getting a degree rather than going straight to the job market. Like I can get a higher and better job, sparing this 3 years of opportunity cost or 3 years searching for the job. I can spend these 3 years for increasing my academic skills and getting a degree rather than going straight for a job. Only problem is that many other students are thinking the same. Hence, the competition of university places becoming much stronger. Like 70%, if the job opportunity is 50% and the degree opportunity is 50%, the 50% of the people or students who are thinking to get into a job are also or the most likely tend to move towards this economic higher universities. So university getting a place or getting a seat in the university becoming harder. Behavioral economics and bias. Traditional economic theory assumes that the man is rational. However, the work of behavioral economics suggests that we can be prone to bias and irrational behavior. For example, we may be prone to a present bias where we overvalue pressure in the short term and ignore long-term implications. To say, for consider the example, considering demerit goods like alcohol or not saving sufficiently for retirement. The insight of present bias suggests that we make decisions of future self would not make. If we become aware of these bias and irrational behavior, then we can make better decisions to improve our long-term welfare. Like if I spend money on luxurious items now, in spite of sending them or saving them for the future. If I require a bag worth of 10 rupees, then I buy a bag of 100 rupees, which purposes the same purpose, which uses the same value, suppose the same purpose, but the extra 90 rupees I can save for our future, for my future. But I am not doing this on the based because of the bias. As we can see here, this graph showing the life cycle hypothesis. Suppose we start we should start our working life at 20, reach our retirement here, and this is our retirement fund. Here, we can see this is a saving period. As we grow, the wealth increases as we have better savings. If the savings is less, the utilization in this retirement period is also less. We have a higher wealth of savings based on our income. We can use a higher amount during the retirement. Supply and demand method. Supply and demand is a basic law in economics. Supply is the number of goods that producers float in the market, whereas demand is the amount of market participants are willing to buy. In an efficient market, the point where the supply curve and the demand curve meet is called the equilibrium point. The supply curve, the demand curve meet this point is called the equilibrium point. Consider luxury handbag. Makers just sell handbags, sells them at a price of $1,000. The price is below $500, you get orders of 10,000 per month. The brand produces only 100 or 1,000 quantities every month, such that it receives the same number of orders every month and creates its inventory months itself, creating a higher demand too. When corn crop production increases, farmers decrease the price of the crop so that they can sell off their produce. Like if the produce is more, the rates are less, so they can sell more. The supply is too high, then the demand is the amount of corn needed to feed the people in the country. The produce used to be wasted, and the farmers lost their cost of production. I would like to conclude this topic. Like the above examples gives an overview of various concepts and laws of economics, which include the law of supply, demand, like opportunity cost, etc. While these examples may not include all types of variance, but they provide a good insight into the economics, which is used in our daily life, which can be seen in our daily life, but we cannot analyze. By this presentation, I would hope that everyone understands the economics which is used in our daily life. Thank you. This is Uday Sharma signing off.